The first season of Vikings Valhalla ended in the Netflix drama's typical bloody and violent fashion as Jarl Olaf, played by Johannes Høyker Johannesson, and Jarl Kær, Bjørn Kronissen, descended on pagan leader Jarl Håkon, Caroline Henderson, in Kattegat. With the two Christian Jarls going behind King Canute's, Bradley Freegard, back to enact their act of war, Jarl Håkon called on her pagan army, Leif Erikson, Sam Corlett, and Freydis Eriksdotter, Frida Gustafsson, in her efforts to keep them out. However, thanks to a deliberate distraction plot by Olaf which led Leif to believe they'd attack by sea, the Christians managed to infiltrate Kattegat. Bloodshed was everywhere, with Jarl Håkon also being struck down by Olaf and Kær's archers. Once inside Kattegat, however, fortunes for Olaf and Kær soon swung, with Freydis managing to kill and behead the latter while King Canute's father King Forkbeard, Soren Pilmark, rumbled Olaf's betrayal and arrived moments after to punish his weakened forces. There was heartbreak and devastation for Leif too, as he could only watch as fellow Greenlander and love interest Liv, Louisa Richter, succumbed to the injuries inflicted by Olaf. As she tried to defend Kattegat, Olaf planted his sword through her torso as Leif could only watch. Leif scrambled her away to shelter in a nearby shed, but despite his best efforts, he was unable to save her. What followed was a furious and vengeful Leif who looked set on slaughtering anyone and everyone who crossed his path. Moments before the credits of the finale rolled, a number of Olaf's army entered the shed with the intention of raping a Kattegat woman, only for them all to be beaten and bludgeoned to death by the Greenlander. The final shot of Vikings Valhalla Season 1 focused on a blood-covered Leif armed with his weapons, worlds away from the pacifistic Greenlander who'd never killed a man at the beginning of the series. So what lies ahead for this new version of Leif going forward into Season 2, and what is he thinking in those final moments of rage? Express. Co.uk put this to actor Corlett, who replied, "Yeah, well, for me, that was like the element of his father that was in him that he wasn't accepting. And it came out reactively," he added. "I suppose it brings a sense of understanding for why his father is the way he is and what his father may have been through his raids." Throughout Vikings Valhalla, Leif had been attempting to leave the shadow cast by his father Eric the Red and the murderous raids against Christians he conducted in decades gone by. Corlett continued, "And yeah, it was certainly an eruption and an expression of held trauma. Although it was a very full-on scene, Louisa Richter, who plays Liv, really helped create a very sacred space for me to enter that grieving space with her, and with the beautiful Irish crew who have such a real poetic nature to them." He concluded, "To enter, to allow a viciousness to arrive, it was a big day, it was a big day. It wasn't until afterwards that I realized far out that was probably one of the biggest days in my life in terms of on-set life. Like to draw upon every facet, but I had to serve that moment." So with Leif seemingly embracing his father's murderous side and unleashing years of built-up trauma, could fans expect a big shift in his attitude going forward? Vikings Valhalla is available to stream on Netflix now.